Hi everyone, Sunsider here, and today I'd like to talk about the potential of the quantum unit from the Xianzhu Luofu, Qingque. I know it's kinda late for me to see her potential, but it's all because I managed to pull Seele and didn't find a need to max her out. But it all changed a few days ago when I randomly wanted to max her out, and she's a fun unit to play. At the moment, my Qingque is on Eidolon 3, and at this Eidolon level, she can clap the enemies with her burst, and we'll see how in the later part of the video. As I've played the game for quite some time now, there's one thing that I realized when it comes to the 4-star erudition unit, and that's the chance for them to trigger their follow-up attack. Let's see from Herta. As good as her swing is, it can only be triggered at a certain time and in a random manner, meaning that we can't fully rely on this deal to follow up damage. The same goes for Qingque. As she loves to play Mahjong, her skill revolves around the Mahjong tiles where at the start of our ally turn, she'll draw one tile from 3 different suits that can hold up to 4 tiles at one time. Now, if Qingque starts her turn with 4 tiles of the same suits, she'll use all the 4 tiles to trigger the hidden hand state. Simply put, in this state, she can use her skill and her attack is increased by 36% at Tracer's level 1 as well as her basic attack. Of course, since she's a 4-star erudition unit, we still find a conditional word like if on her talent description. This is very different if we are going to compare her with Himeko, a 5-star erudition unit that can do follow-up damage after getting 3-point charges every time your ally deals a weakness break. Or the latest talk of the town, Qingyuan, that will guarantee to clap the enemy when his Lightning Lord takes turn and has the highest hit rate possible. But don't worry, for those who are currently building her or planning to, because Qingque does have her own way to show what the fun is, and before that, let's talk about relics and light cones. Considering how resources heavy farming a relic is, I chose a more conservative way to have fun with her, and that's by borrowing my Seele's current base equipment and put it on my Qingque. At the moment, she is sitting on 2095 attack, 30.1% crit rate, and 69.1% crit damage. In case some of you asked to combine the Brilliant Stars and the Wild Weight set, I'm sorry to say this, but you have to throw that idea away because both of these two artifact sets bonus doesn't contribute much to Qingque's overall kit. Of course, you're free to do so in case you still don't have the full set of the Brilliant Stars. Lycons, on the other hand, is a more exciting topic because I only have a limited number of 4-star options for her and more to be explored. The very first one that I use is the 4-star options, the Genius's Repose. When I use these light cones on Qingque, she will have her attack increased by 16% and crit damage by 24% for 3 turns after she defeats an enemy. Now, the Seriousness of Breakfast does have a nearly similar stats, except this one provides a 60% damage bonus and a 4% attack increase that can be stacked 4 times. In practice, the Genius's Repose allows me to deal up to 20k damage when the crit rate procs during my fight with enemies that has quantum weakness with the help of Qingyan's skill and ultimate. The other option that you can go for, although I personally believe wouldn't be a good choice, is that today is another peaceful day. Why this one is not good choice for Qingque is mainly because the damage modifier that relies on a unit energy level. With 0.20% damage increase per point of energy, at 160 energy it gives 32% damage increase. If it sounds good, then I have to remind you that this bonus can only be applicable if you have your energy full, which then translates to you getting that energy full first to get this damage increase. What about the 5-star option, the Night on the Milky Way and the Before Dawn? Well, since I currently don't possess any of these light cones, then it's not my place to talk about them in detail. But the Night on the Milky Way and Before Dawn descriptions speak damage, and if you have one of these, then enjoy. Now that relics and light cones are pretty much sorted out, it's now time to talk about her best team composition and damage potential. It might come to everyone's surprise or not, but if you're going to talk about DPS Qingque, then the only viable unit that we can think about is to include Qingyan in any of its team composition. Why bother with DPS Qingque when we already have Seele? Well, simply because there will come a time when we'll need effectively defeat a group of enemies with quantum weakness, and since not everyone managed to pull her, then I'm simply providing an alternative for players out there. In multi-quantum weakness enemies, Qingque's enhanced skill works wonders. Well, might not entirely, as the splash damage deal less damage to the enemies adjacent to the main target, but considering the follow-up attack that she can do each time she pulls 4 same tiles, then the damage potential is there. I tried to clear Kokolia's Echoes of War and bring her as the only good damage dealer in the team composition to see her damage potential. The total damage of this run is at 92.426 point of damage with highlight in some crit damage proc on her ultimate. Before we move on, I'd like to see for myself how Seele damage output is now that we have another good quantum erudition unit, and to make the test simple, I put her equipment that Qingque borrowed on her and ready to see some numbers. On this test run, Seele managed to dish out 97.14 point of damage to Kokolia, and with this we can pull the conclusion. While the 5k damage difference might not be that significant, please remember that my Qingque is on Ascension 5 at the moment and her Eidolon 3 allows her to get that +2 on ultimate and talent, allowing my Traces to get level 8. Sitting on 2095 attack should have made the number go higher with the same equipment used by Ascension 4 Seele.
But you didn't.
There is another factor that we have to consider, like the trace multiplier difference between 4-star and 5-star units that most of the times tend to be higher on the 5-star. But if we see this test result from a positive perspective, then what Qingque can achieve is something great because we are able to clear level 3 difficulties on Kokolia's Echoes of War. She might not come out to be the best quantum DPS because of how she designed, but she sure is a good alternative unit in case players are looking for alternatives for Seele or quantum DPS units. At current pace of the game with lots of 4-star units available, players might want to take a look first before spending their Stellar Jade on a 5-star unit. I mean, yes, 5-star unit is definitely over the edge in terms of everything, but in case you guys don't get to pull the 5 stars, that's not the end of the world for you because there's still 4-star units that you just have to find the perfect workaround. On top of that, considering how easy it is to pull 4-star unit, then there's higher chance for you being able to pull them and get the Eidolon 6 that might give your 4-star unit the edge it needed. Take my Qingque for example. Her Eidolon 3 provides a good +2 on her talent and ultimate, allowing to get the most out of her kit as low investment as possible. On Ascension 5, she's a good unit to bring when you're on a map exploration as she can potentially one-shot an enemy with quantum weakness and even splash the damage to the adjacent unit, allowing you to clear a stage faster. This very information is applicable in instance stages like Stagnant Shadow, Echoes of War, and Simulated Universe as well. The problem that all Qingque players have to deal is the RNG of the tiles that sometimes might be in our favor and sometimes not, leaving us on a pure luck mode when playing her in exchange of a good damage. Well, what do you guys think? Do you guys plan on building her as a Seele alternative, or you don't think she can even compare to her? Comment below and let's discuss.